What's going on, good people? So like I said, this will be our introduction to Cinema 4D. So I'll go ahead. As you can see, I have two versions here, but for the sake of this being a beginner tutorial, I'll go ahead and open the older version of Cinema 4D, which is Studio 12. So once you open your Cinema 4D, this is gonna be your interface. That's your workspace, as you can see. So for today's tutorial, I'm just gonna be walking you guys through what each of these panels do, and in the subsequent tutorials we'll be diving into more advanced stuff as we go. So let us begin. So in the top corner here, on the top, as you can see here, you see your file, which is where you can create a new project. You also have open, where you can open a new project, or you can open an existing project. Actually, you have merge. So what merge does is, if you already have a project that you're working on, and let's say you have a 3D model or something that you want to add, just kind of how the name sounds, merge. So you're merging two projects together, sort of. Revert to saved, that's kind of reverting. Close all. We have save, use it to save your project. You have save as, you know what that does. You can also choose save incremental. So save incremental, what that would do is you set sort of a timer. So let's say you choose save incremental of every 5 minutes. So for every 5 minutes while you're working, it would save automatically. Save all will just save all your project. Save project will save your project. I actually never used that before. Export. So this is, maybe you're working on a project, say a model specifically, and you want to export it to another type of file format. So you have, those of you that use 3ds Max, you can export as that, and OBJ and all that. So it's quite pretty fun. And this is recent project. So recent files rather. Yeah, it's still the same thing as recent project. So if say you close Cinema 4D now and you're back, so this is where you go, so you can see your recent project. And quit, you already know what that is. Edit, and this is where you get to copy, select, blah 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 blah. It's nothing crazy going on there. Then object, this is where you can create primitives, polygons. As you can see, they are all itemized there, but since this is just we going through the workspace, I will not say too much on that. Tools, these are also more tools for you as you get into more advanced stuff. Selection, this is, say you're working on for modeling, and this is where you get to do your different types of selections. It's pretty intuitive. Structured, also for those of you that will be getting into a lot of modeling. Functions, yeah, this is also for more advanced stuff. Animation, obviously you know what animation will do. Simulation, this is where you get into sort of like physics and all that to help your 3D model have some sort of interaction and life to them. Render, this is where after you've done all your animation or modeling and all that, this is where you get all the settings for you to render it out. MoGraph is a really fun one, where you get to manipulate your object to do some really cool animation, especially for those of you that want to get into 3D motion graphics. As you can see, you get to create, it's crazy. Character, this is gonna be for a lot of us that would like to get into rigging. So after you've done your modeling, then you want to add some rig so your character can come to life. Plugin, this is where you have plugins and stuff. Windows, this is just sort of like attributes for Cinema 4D stuff. help, you can always come here to get info. And one good thing about Cinema 4D is, so if you toggle to anywhere in your workspace, if you look down here where I'm circling now, I'm hovering with my cursor. Say for example I go onto here, let me see, you can see if you look down there it says move and click move element. Okay, let me go to a more specific one. So you can see as I'm going through all these icons to my left here, if you look down there where I was hovering my mouse to, you can see how it is changing. So this is kind of, it tells you, it kind of helps you to know what exactly the tool you're on works for. So it comes in really handy. And so this right here, this square, this workspace right here, this is where your this is your viewport, like they call it, and you can always divide it into 4. And this 4, what it does is you have your perspective view, you have your top view, you have your front view, you have your right view, and you can always change them to rearrange it as much as you want, but ideally I'll just say leave it at default. And so I was going to talk about, like, this is where your workspace is. So whatever it is that you're working on, this is where you get to see what is happening exactly. And on here, these are just more tools that will help you manipulate whatever it is that you're doing. And if you come down here, this is your timeline for those of you that would like to do animation where you'll be adding your keyframes and all that. Right here, as you can see, it says materials. So materials, this is where pretty much called the texturing. So this is where you can bring in different texture from outside of Cinema 4D to help with your model or whatever it is that you're working on. And right here is the coordinates. So coordinates is for if you have a model here or camera or whatever it is in your viewport, this is where you can always change their orientation sort of. And right here is the attribute menu. So attribute menu is where you get to change your project say you want to change the frames per second, you want to change scale of the document style. There's so much that you can do here, but like I said, we'll dive into some of these as we move on. And right here is the objects panel. So the objects panel, this is where you would be seeing anything that you had into your viewport. The object panel is where you get to see each object. So pretty much this will be where your layers will be, so to speak. And all these icons right here, these are just all these icons right here, they are also in one of these topics on top of here, but they're just out here just to make life easier for us. So before I make this call this a day, I just want to emphasize on the main structure of any 3D application. You can see this green, blue and red. So what this means is these are your axes. 3D is no more two-dimensional, it's now three-dimensional. So now you have your y-axis, which is representing your green, you have your z-axis, which is your blue, and you have your x-axis. And as you can see, they are all represented by their letters. And so you can also see it here. So whichever way that you see all these letters to help guide you. And that is it for the introduction. And in our next class, we'll get into more beginner stuff. All right guys, if you have any question, don't hesitate, shoot me a text in the group, or put your question in the comments below. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful, and make sure you subscribe and tell a friend. And I'll catch you guys in the next tutorial. Ciao ciao.